Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Apex Racing TV. This is the BSR TC Radical Thursday, a new series on the channel, and this is effectively taking the place of the old winter series. We're here at the Brands Hatch circuit in the United Kingdom for 3 action-packed races in the Radical SR8. My name is Andrew Woodhouse, and I am here as usual. And today I'm very pleased to be joined by a man who I haven't shared a commentary box with for probably a couple of years, Lee Thompson. Hello, Lee.
Good evening, everyone. Evening, Andrew. Yeah, I think about 2 years is about right. Back to the BSR. It feels like a long time since I've seen this series close up.
Well, it's good to have you back, and I'm sure we're going to get into it some point later on. But 27 degrees out there on the track, so quite hot temperatures for this Radical. We're looking at 3 rounds. It's the usual BSR TC format for those who have not watched the series before on the channel. It's basically the first race is decided by this qualifying session, which we're currently in and is currently just about to finish, and the rest of it is the other 2 races are decided by the reverse grid wheel, for which I will be spinning that a bit later on between the rounds. And yeah, Lee, the Radical then, it's a car that you've got a bit of experience with, and yeah, what can we expect from it?
You can expect a lively race, I think. What a great combination. Brands Hatch GP circuit and a little Radical SR8. That is a cracking combination. Out the back especially, those quick corners out in a GP circuit. Yeah, it's a perfect car for that sort of thing. I think we're going to get some cracking racing as well, because it's very, very easy just to have the rear end kick out a little bit, entry and oversteer, and that's going to allow people to make moves ready for the next corner. Yeah, entertaining. I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Yeah, and I think that it's going to be close quarters. What's it like in terms of the what's it like in terms of the damage model and things like that? Is it quite sensitive to that, or is it okay?
Well, I think there's been a few revisions probably since I've last driven it in real anger, but I think front end especially, it certainly used to be sensitive. So if you were driving somewhere maybe sort of Bathurst style with those walls pretty close, then it will soon knock the toe out if you give it a little tap. Rear wing, of course, yeah, it relies heavily on the aerodynamics in this car. So again, a little bit of damage on the back, and that's gonna be tricky. So it's certainly not going to be as resistant as the good old Kias that these BSR guys are most known for. Yeah,
indeed. There's going to be some people who are quite shocked by that. The grid is on the screen for everybody, as we've got about a minute left. It's Ash Sutton on pole, 2017 British Touring Car Champion. He's in there with Kane Halliburton on the front row, Christian Rose in 3rd, Johnny Brandon 4th, Jamie Rushworth in 5th, Sven Glatzel 6th, 7th for Stuart McFadden, and then Josh Thompson in 8th, Nico Foggy 9th, Mark Chorley in 10th, Trevor Clement is 11th, Richard Gefenku is in 12th, and going down the list, Luke Cooper is in 13th place. 14th is Dan Webster, then Jack McIntyre, Chris Cash, Paul Denton, James McRitchie, he's in there as well. And then Kip Stevens in 19th, Jamie Ayers 20th, 21st Jamie Mayers, 22nd Adam McNally, 23rd Steve Hefford, 24th is Craig Williams, and then in 25th is Jason Cooper, 26th Jordan Giddins.
We're
ready.
We're in the building and they're off, yeah. So pile of smoke as the cars get away. Ash Sutton holding the inside line as they head into paddock, and Ash Sutton holds that position on the inside, still side by side for 4th, 5th, 6th.
Indeed we are. Sorry for technical issues there, that's my fault. So here we go, going through the first lap then. So far, it doesn't look like there's been any major... Oh, there's a spinner at Druids, crash at Druids. And I think dropping down the order then is Carl Hardy, and there's a few others in there as well. I'm not quite sure who that is. Yeah, a few of them in a lot of trouble. Oh, and more spins at Graham Milben.
As they head out into the GP circuit, Ash Sutton still leading, Kane Halliburton then in 2nd.
More spins as well, another one round.
Very, very close behind, 6th, 7th, 8th, Jamie Rushworth battling the cars behind.
Yeah, Sutton leading the way then. He's very experienced. We know that he can get it done out there. What are these cars quite sensitive to bumps and things like that, or do they tend to be okay?
They normally will ride them pretty well, to be fair. They're obviously super low ride height. You know, that sports car style of car that they are. But no, they'll ride the curbs pretty well. But equally, yeah, if you catch something wrong, then they can snap on you. again, out the back on that GP circuit, it is pretty bumpy, especially as they head back into paddock again.
Very light car as well, isn't it? And that's the main sort of selling point of it. But
it's a crazy power to weight ratio. Crazy.
It's very, very light. Isn't it only about 800 kilos or something? They're not particularly heavy at all. Richard Gafenku says there's crash. Dan Webster's dropping down the order. Not quite sure what happened to him, but we will have a look at that if we can in a bit. Yeah, Sutton leading as they go down Pilgrim's Drop for the second time. Looks like Laura Bond's had some issues. Tyler Vickery maybe as well. It's Sutton, Halliburton, Rose, Brandon, Glatzel, Rushworth, Thompson, Foggy, McFadden and Clement in the top 10.
Yeah, and it's really those top 10 that have just broken away a little bit now. So through those instants in the first opening laps, we've just got a little bit of a split. So yeah, pack of 10 at the front, maybe just about 9. 10th car is just dropping back slightly, Trevor Clement. And then we got 2-car battle then between McIntyre and Cask, Luke Cooper and McRitchie, then a couple of cars behind, and then the rest of the field really streaming on by as they come back round to clear race.
Indeed. And I will have to point out, I will apologise for the nationalities on the project file. Didn't quite get that done in time, but it is there up to a point. It's not quite right, but we'll get that done for next time. Sutton doing a good job. A lot of drivers. We've still got 17 drivers within about 10 seconds of the lead. This early stage of the race, it's 20-minute time race. This first one, so 20 minutes around somewhere like Brands Hatch, you really got to keep your concentration. Can't let it slip, because if you do, then it's going to be a disaster. Yeah,
absolutely. So there's only 2 real moments to take a breath on this circuit, and the rest of it is very, very hectic. And again, especially in these cars, because they will get around this circuit super, super quick. 1 minute, sub 1 minute 20 so far the leaders are doing. So yeah, they'll soon put a laps in through these 20 minutes, as you say. Ash Sutton still looking pretty comfortable in front, as we might expect, but guys behind keep him certainly in check. It's not like he's streaking away. Top 2 maybe are just starting to make a little bit of space on Christian Rose behind, but all it takes is 1 corner and a bit of slipstream, and he can be closing right back up again.
We got Sam Kumo in there. Sam Kumo's in the car. I don't think it's going particularly well for him out there, but he's got. Look at the damage on that lead. That is absolutely disgraceful.
Yeah, had a bit of a tough time already for the looks of it. Oh, Spinner 4th place at Paddock at
It's Foggy, isn't it? Is it Foggy?
Yeah, car behind
them.
Gets stunned as well. Yeah, so that's really split the front up now. We've got 2 groups of 3 now at the front.
Yeah, it's going very quickly for me, I must admit. This you can see a replay of Jamie Ayres, I think this is. Oh, and he gets hit. He gets tagged by car 4, is that? I think that's car 4, Lee. Adam McNally, possibly.
Yeah, it could be a big battle for 4th, 5th, 6th, as they go almost 3 wide into the end of the GP circuit. Foggy, Rushworth and Josh Thompson there really still going at it on the grass as well, and they all get themselves straightened up just before they come back to the Indy circuit.
Thompson almost going off there. A couple of wheels on the grass through clearways for the 4th time.
Yeah, Foggy could be looking to have a bit of a nose into paddock here. He's not going to get up alongside, but if he gets a clear run through the corner, then maybe actually you can think about it through Druids. Different lines for the 2 of them there. A little bit tighter for Thompson on entry. Foggy took a wider line. He is closing a little bit on the approach to Druids, but no deal.
Oh, contact! And that's caused Jamie Rushworth to really have to take avoiding action.
So Josh Thompson making the most of that to try and break away, as they all spread out now, and they're getting swallowed up by the cars behind to make it another train. So yeah, top 3 cars. Oh, Ash Sutton under pressure now, actually, from Kane Halliburton as they head to the top of the GP circuit. Ash Sutton on the inside, Halliburton on the outside. You can just about hang around the outside there, but can you do it on Ash Sutton? I'm not so sure. Still side by side, and he finally has to back out of it. Ash Sutton holds on to the position. So Halliburton absolutely keeping Ash Sutton honest at the minute. And Christian Rose ready to pick up the pieces.
So Stuart McFadden has had a spin at Surtees. He was running in the top 10, McFadden, and well, he's dropped down to 16th place as a result of that particular one. Yeah, 16th now. So, what's it like in terms of going onto the grass in this car, Lee? Is it quite sensitive to that as well in terms of that, or is it a bit like the Kia where it kind of doesn't mind at times?
Yeah, I'd say it's not going to be too bad on these high-speed corners. If it's a high traction area, you're really trying to get out of a slow corner, then you're going to struggle for sure. But maybe on the again out on the GP circuit there, you can just barely get away with it. Yeah, running out a little bit wide. So it looks like the battle for the lead has just settled down for a moment. So those top three, again, keeping each other well and truly in check. Nicole Foggy then looking pretty lonely now in 5th. Jamie Rushworth 6th. Trevor Clements 7th with Christian Kask 8th. 9th for Johnny Brandon and 10th for McIntyre. So those last 4 cars there.
Look how close that is, mate.
Absolutely.
That's ridiculous. How close that one is. Yeah, Johnny Brandon is... right in the thick of it. Just behind him is Jack McIntyre. In front of him is Chris Cash. And then, sorry for the spelling error there, Chris. It looks like, but just ahead of them is Trevor Clement.
And further back as well, there, Andrew, 13th place. Very, very tight as they come up towards clearways again. There was changes of position there, I think. Josh Thompson actually was in 4th place. He's back in this pack now, so he's had a problem on this lap somewhere and is now out of the top 10.
Yeah, he's dropped all the way down as Josh Thompson. Oh, and Glatzel is in there as well. Sven Glatzel, very quick driver, one of the top contenders in the BSRTC in the Kia Optima. Trying to transition that over to the Radical. Going very wide into the to Drury's Bend is James McRitchie. And he's coming under a lot of pressure from Josh Thompson now.
And Christopher Kask had an issue that lap in Drury.
Oh, up the inside! Up the inside goes Sven Glatzel. He's having a look on Josh Thompson, Lee.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be able to get the drive enough as they head to the top of the GP circuit. They're all line astern. But yeah, Christopher Kask had an issue that time, so he's dropped back a couple of spots. And that's enabled McIntyre and Brandon just to break away and have their own little battle.
Behind them is ridiculous, isn't it? This Thompson, Glatzel, McRitchie battle. Thompson's got past McRitchie, but he's gone wide onto the grass, and now Glatzel up the inside into Stirling's Bend. Can't quite do it. You can see some of the damage though, Lee. It's only partial damage on the rear end of these Radicals, but definitely there's a few bent cars out there at this point.
Yeah, and so for sure with all the aerial on these cars definitely makes a difference. So yeah, some of these guys will be struggling as Glatzel has a move into Paddock Hill, but see if he gets a drive onto Drury's. Looks like he does. That's the cover off the inside, does Thompson.
Oh, he spins! Oh, and he almost just nudged him back the right way again as he went past Sven Glatzel, but Glatzel up into 12th position. We can see here that started in 6th, so it's not gone particularly well for him so far, as you can see by the damage to his car, but I'm sure he can fight his way through. He's a very good driver, the German. Trevor Clement, who's the highest in the AM category at the moment. In 6th position, he started in 11th. He's kept it clean so far. Lap times look pretty good as well. Let's just see the gap then between he and Jamie Rushworth. I'll be able to bring that up on the screen. That's not it, is it? That's the wrong. That's the wrong drivers. It's all right. We'll get there. I will get there. It's 5. And, yeah, it's just it's that, isn't it? There we go. That's the gap. It was 1.3 seconds. It was 1.9 seconds, but Trevor Clement is getting the gap down very slowly. 1.3 it is now. It's gone up to 1.5 on this lap, but I think he finds the middle part of the lap a bit better, judging by what we can see out there. So yeah, very good indeed from him trying to come through the field. See positions gained on the screen, Lee. You've got Craig Williams up 14, Jason Cooper up 11. That's impressive early on in this car.
Yeah, and so some of that, no doubt, was from instance at the very start. So we saw a couple of them splitting the pack apart. But yeah, all you got to do is get through it and survive. The battle for the lead has just calmed down a little bit for now. So Ash Sutton still leading Kane Halliburton by sort of a half second or so. But then Christian Rhodes has dropped off the back, so he's had a little error somewhere. And it's now a 2-car battle for the lead. Still Nicole Foggy on his own. Jamie Rushworth then in 5th. Trevor Clement then in 6th. And then we've got the battle then for 7th, 8th, 9th. Very, very tight still between Brandon McIntyre and Cass.
Yeah, let's have a look into that. Johnny Brandon at the front of that little trio. Car 10. As we finish lap 10. Brandon going well. What sort of slipstream do we get in these, Lee? Is it much?
Well, I think we've seen already that there's generally not quite enough on this track. I mean, we've got 2 decent straights, but they're not, monster modern circuit kilometre straights or anything like that for them to deal with. So yeah, it's not really going to be enough to get the draft just purely on the slipstream. But if someone makes a mistake, again, it can claw you just that close enough to make a move. And yeah, a lot of cars out there struggling with big damage as well. Cars lapped down, so it's going to be interesting to see how the traffic out on the circuit, as people are trying to limp around and just complete the race, maybe get involved in this tight circuit. Again, it's not one of these modern, massive, wide circuits. It's not a lot of space out there, and the amount of cars in pit lane, Andrew, with damage is crazy. I'm seeing at least a dozen cars sat on pit lane repairs. Yeah,
quite a lot in there. Underhill, Giddings, Hardy, Bond, White, Kaiser, McCain, Stevens, Brown, Leslie, Vickery, Kumo, Inch, Cooper, that's Luke Cooper, Ferber and Davies. Knowles might be in there as well. Maybe Blackburn as well. Trevor Blackburn. I've raced against him many times in the old club series, of course. Was broadcast on Apex Racing TV. Looking at Ash Sutton, and the gap is down to 4/10. So Kane Halliburton is reeling him in nicely at the moment, and now he's going to really get in that slipstream range, Lee, under those big rear wings. Surely enough for him to at least be able to put a lot of pressure on Ash Sutton at this point.
Yeah, he definitely is keeping him honest. As I said earlier on, they're down to the low 19s now, and Halliburton was just half a tenth quicker last time by. So as you say, he's just closing up, and these guys are right on the limit. And it's again, Brand's GP circuit. I mean, is there, you've got to struggle to think of a circuit that's more satisfying than those high-speed sections out the back there on GP circuit. And again, a car like the Radical, it's just going to eat them up all day long. Yep. And Sutton and Halliburton for sure look very, very at home. Say right on the limit on these corners.
Just having a little look. We bring the track map up for you. And you can see just how this field's spread out even on the Grand Prix circuit. When we're seeing all 30 odd cars that are still left. Many of them are in the pits. The top 4 have really broken away. There's quite a big gap between them. You're looking at about you're looking at basically 6 seconds between 4th place Nico Foggy and 5th place Jamie Rushworth. Adam McNally's had an issue. He's dropping down the order. What's happened to him? Let's have a look and see. It's going to be at Surtees again. This is where Stuart McFadden came a cropper. Well, it doesn't look like anything there. Who knows? Oh well. Absolutely nothing there that time.
So Johnny Brandon under lots and lots of pressure from Christopher Kask up the back of the circuit again, really having to soak all of this up as Kask looks to get in position for this last left-hander. He can have a little dive up the inside, but Brandon just covers it off, just sitting in the middle of the circuit for a touch longer on the approach to the entry as they come
towards
cleanways again. He has got a good run, just about overlapping the inside, makes the move.
That's great.
And Brandon, I thought, might be able to cut back, but he's going to get the drive out the corner regardless. And Kask has to go defensive. See how they do.
Oh dear! I pushed him off. Off he goes into the gravel, and Cash, well, he manages to keep 7th place, but it was a terrific move into clearways. It was really a great pass, and he'll be very pleased with that one. You can see that on. Sorry,
Andrew. Yeah, you could really see that move developing over the previous few corners, as well as he was gradually lining them up, ready to make that move. And as I said, unfortunate for the contact there at the end, but the position was made.
Yeah, it was really good. That's the best move of the race so far. I think very, very good indeed. We can have a look at some trees there now on Apex Racing TV, as the helicopter's quite useless around here, isn't it? I've just realised, to my cost. We'll just go on the. Tell you what, we'll go on board with Nico Foggy as he comes into clearways. Then let's see how he attacks this Brands Hatch circuit. So through the over the start-finish line now, go up to the left-hand side. As far out to the left as you dare before turning into Paddock Hill Bend. Just try and avoid the curb on the inside. It can unsettle the car. You can use a lot of the curb on the outside as you then prepare for Druids. Maybe a little wider than he would have liked this time, Foggy, but carries on. Graham Hill Bend follows next. The left-hander. You can use pretty much all of that AstroTurf on the outside. Surtees Bend follows here. This is a late apex. Really off-camber, difficult corner. We've seen a few spinners here throughout the race. On the way towards Hawthorne. The fastest parts of the course here. Couple of downshifts, throws it in. Really nicely done. Nice and smooth. Westfield Bend. Again, just straight lining as much as you can. And my favourite corner on the course here, Dingle Dell. It's uphill. And Sheen Curve. And then into Sterling's Bend, which gives you a lot of camber. There's a car off on the left-hand side. I think it's a lapped car. And then into the final corner again, and that's a lap of Brands Hatch. It goes by quickly, Lee, I tell you.
Very, very quickly. As I said, certainly a lot quicker for these guys than they would have been used to in those old Kias. Foggy, we're seeing quite a bit closer to the back of Christian Rose. So Rose had a poor lap last time around. And yeah, he's dropping back into the clutches.
Yeah, indeed. And you can see just what Lee's talking about on your screen. It was 2.5 seconds 5 laps ago. It's come down to just that 1 second. You can see it. See the visual representation of it.
So
it's coming down even further, Lee. He's not going to escape him at this point, Christian Rose.
Foggy looking very, very quick. He's lapping as quick or quicker than Ash Sutton the last couple of laps. So he is absolutely on it. It's not really that Rose is dropping off.
He seems to do this a lot, Ash Sutton. You know, he does. He seems to be very good at saving the tyres in the early parts of these short races, and he seems to really enjoy the final few laps. There will be another lap. He's just going to make it to the line before 20 minutes expires, so this will be the final lap. The white flag is in the air. And Ash Sutton, oh, big moment, massive moment there. He's trying hard now, and he very nearly lost it all going through Paddock Hill Bend. That would have been an absolute disaster for him, Lee.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a super quick lap last time by, 19 flat that time round, quickest on the track. Again, Foggy in 4th place, only a 10th off that, and is now right on the back of Christian Rose, who was 4 tenths slower that time by. So, as I say, Foggy, if he wants to get that spot, this is the time. He hasn't got any longer.
Yeah, he's 1/10 of a second slower, is Nico Foggy, than Ash Sutton. He's got half a chance, hasn't he? But, yeah, where is he going to make that move? I think it's going to be tough.
Mistake, isn't it? Yeah.
Or he's just going to have to really go for it. But it's sort of one line through the final sector. It really is. It says Ross McFarlane's had an issue out there. Sorry, Lee.
Yeah, so as we saw, you can get up the inside of clearways, but you need to be much closer on this last corner now than he currently is. So
here we go then.
Here we go. And Ash Sutton, don't forget, coming into clearways now to take the flag.
That's it. Here he comes then through the final corner. And Ash Sutton, 2017 BTCC champion, takes the opening round of the BSR Radical Thursdays. Who's going to get third Oh, it's so close, but it's Christian Rose just about. Kane Halliburton, don't forget him, in second position. Really fantastic there. Really, really good indeed. And yeah, I mean, that's a good start to the Radical series. Still got a good battle going on out there. Sam Fitzpatrick, our other colleague as well, on Apex Racing TV, he's in the car. And just behind him is Steve Hefford. Then Stuart McFadden, we saw him have the issues. And then Rob Plumley as well. Bad lap for Plumley, he's dropped behind these guys, I think. Stuart McFadden in the 20s. But he can't make a dent in Sam Fitzpatrick's advantage. It's going to be 16th place for him.
So, to give you an idea of how much an eventful race it must have been for some of the guys out there, we have, 50 runners? 26 of them finished on the lead lap. Everyone else was a lap or more down.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of it happened on the opening couple of laps. I'm sure there's going to be some words exchanged on the social media later on.
I mean, yeah, this car obviously just generates very different racing from the Kia Optimas and even the MX-5s for that matter. You know, again, you just can't cope with wheel banging really in these cars, and perhaps a lot of these guys are going to find that it's going to take a slightly different tact if they want to get consistent results. But again, it's a tough circuit for it. You know, small, narrow, traditional circuit. There's not a lot of space for 50 radicals all trying to fund around.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm sure that we'll see the racing improve as the meeting goes on. So here we go then. Results are on the screen, Lee.
Yeah, so Ash Sutton taking that win then from lights to flag. He was under pressure for a lot of the race from Halliburton, but just managed to edge it out at the end and build that little bit of a gap. Halliburton then in second with Christian Rose in third, Foggy in fourth with Jamie Rushworth in fifth, Trevor Clement then in sixth with Christian Kask in seventh, Jack McIntyre eighth, Johnny Brand in ninth, Josh Thompson was in 10th with Slang Glatzel in 11th, Craig Williams in 12th, Jamie Lee Mayers in 13th, Jamie Ayres in 14th, Adam McNally in 15th, Sam Fitzpatrick in 16th, Steve Hefford 17th, Stuart McFadden 18th, Robert Plumley 19th, and rounding out the top 20 was Paul Denton. Yeah, good first race, as you say.
Yeah, indeed. And then the rest of it going through: Richard Gefenku, Ross McFarlane, Michael Blake, Rich Haynes, Scott Malcolm, David Ayres. They all finished on the lead lap. Then it was Tristan Bodis, Jacquelette, and then the rest of the retirements that we mentioned really: Lorne Murray, James McRitchie, Mark Chorley, Dan Webster, Jason Cooper, Pete Knowles, Stefan Leslie, Trevor Blackburn, Nathan Davis, Dominic Farber, Luke Cooper, Robert Inch, Sam Kumo, Kip Stevens, Tyler Vickery, Dan Brown, Jordan Giddens, David White, James Underhill, Laura Bond, Carl Hardy, Alan McCain, and Jeroen Kaiser. So, Lee, more retirements than finishes, I think. It was very close, a 50-50 split, I think.
Yeah, it was high attrition rate for sure. As you say, a lot of them in those opening laps. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see. Obviously, next races we've got the reverse grid, so that's really going to shake things up. But equally, are people going to be that more cautious and try and survive? But hey, everyone in this BSR series, we know not everyone's going to finish.
Indeed, we do. So here we go then with the reverse grid wheel for race 2. This is what's going to decide the grid. And here we go. We'll give it a spin. So it can go to a full. It can go full -5. It's not going to be anywhere near those. Is it going to tick over? Oh, it just about hasn't. We're going to go 14th on that one. So 14th is indeed going to be... I don't know because I have no idea. 14th is... Jamie Ayres.
Jamie Ayres, yes.
That's who 14th is. So join us back after the break then here on Apex Racing TV, as we shall have 2 more races for you. See you in a bit.
here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Will it be Tim Hogan? It's going to be Christopher DeMary at the line. Once again, photo finish here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Will it be Tim Hogan? It's going to be Christopher DeMeritt at the line.
Welcome back to Brands Hatch and welcome back to the BSRTC Radical Thursdays, the winter series here on Apex Racing TV. Andrew Woodhouse and Lee Thompson with you. And Lee, the first race, it was pretty good as first rounds of the season goes. Quite a lot of carnage around the back of the field in the middle, but at the front we saw good battle for the lead. It was pretty close for most of the distance.
Yeah, absolutely. Say Halliburton and Rose gave it a good fight for a decent length of the race, but ultimately Sutton was just able to keep that consistency, keeping those low 19s hammering in every lap, and that just made a difference. But yeah, great first race. I think it's a cracking choice of car. You know, the Radical has gone through a little bit of peaks and troughs over the years in iRacing of how popular a car it is, but whenever I jump into it, I always just think it's just feels sublime. Say good fun to race as well. Like I say, requires a different mentality. It's not a touring car, so the guys maybe need to adjust their approach as they go through the season. But yeah, really glad that the BSR have chosen to try out this car for the Winter Series.
Just if anybody's watching on the chat, just let us know if the volume levels are okay, and then yeah, Lee will be able to tell me whether it's okay or not. Because we did have a couple of little audio gremlins, but seem to be okay now. But yeah, welcome everybody. Second race of the evening. This 3-race format here at Brands Hatch, and of course the big news, Lee, coming out of week 13 was day to night transitions. They're in, fully available on. I think it is all the tracks, isn't it? Am I right?
I believe that tracks that already have an existing night mode will go to full night mode during the transition, and I think maybe other tracks only go to like a sunset, sunrise.
Oh, okay.
But someone could probably correct me if I've got it wrong, but I believe that's the case. So like Daytona Road, you know, that has proper floodlights things already, so that would do a full day-night cycle. Le Mans, that sort of stuff. But I think others is maybe just like sunset, sunrise type of deal.
Yeah, they said Le Mans day-to-night transition just made it in before the deadline, so they did a good job of that. Also, we got new cars. We got Formula Renault 3.5. We got the Formula 3 car from Dallara. We got Tsukuba Circuit, which to anybody who's played Gran Turismo over the years, and that's got to be most people here, I would imagine. That's very well known, so we'll see some good competition when we go there. Are you liking the new additions, Lee? Is it anything tickle your fancy at all?
To be honest, Andrew, I don't get much of a chance to fire up the sim for driving, unfortunately. So I've not really. I don't think I've even loaded up the sim since the new patch, apart from tonight. So unfortunately, I can't comment on the new stuff. But I think I made a similar joke when I jumped in the Rikmatek broadcast the other week. That yeah, I'm glad this day tonight is here. But I remember 2 years ago when I was last here, that was supposedly about to come out. So it took them 2 years. I'm glad they got her in the end.
Yeah, the hashtag soon did become hashtag now eventually, but just took a bit of time.
And if you can bump up my volume, says chat, please, Andrew.
Okay. Yeah, we'll see what we can do. Pretty sure we can do that indeed. Right, we'll see how that goes. Let us know. And yeah, we'll see what's what. Session's about to advance in 30 seconds or so, according to the league admins. We're sorry for the delay. There was something that went on with the setting up of the previous sessions, so they weren't able to get everybody in. So they had to make a new session, and that's why we're a little bit late. So apologies again for that, but I think we're going to be in for a great race. The reverse grid wheel, though, Lee, it gave a small number, didn't it? 14. So out of 50 odd cars, only 14 of them are going to be swapped around.
Absolutely. So yeah, not the insanity of a full grid reverse, but nonetheless, I think seeing those podium guys, especially trying to get their way from back of the top 10, will be good to see. So no doubt we're going to see some action, and also, of course, I'm sure there's a fair few cars out of position with them crashing out early on last time round. So guys at the back of the field, perhaps who don't deserve to be there on pure pace, we'll see them try and work their way through as well. So that'll be good to see.
It will, and also the likes of Ash Sutton, for instance, will be very, very thankful that it was only a 14 and not a full, because that would have been, well, the full would have only been in the 20s, luckily, but still, that would have made their task a little bit more difficult. It's Jamie Ayres on pole, Jamie Mayers in second place. There you go. How's that? Craig Williams in third, Sven Glatzel fourth, Josh Thompson fifth, Johnny Brandon sixth, seventh for Jack McIntyre, eighth Chris Cash, and ninth Trevor Clement, Jamie Rushworth in 10th, Nico Foggy 11th, Christian Rose in 12th position, 13th for Kane Halliburton ahead of Ash Sutton, and it's Adam McNally, Sam Fitzpatrick, Steve Hefford, Stuart McFadden, Robert Plumley, Paul Denton, Richard Gafenko, Ross McFarlane, Michael Blake, Rich Haynes, and rounding out the top 25, it's Scott Malcolm. Here we go.
Okay, the revs building.
Ready for the start. We're away. Terrific start by Ayres. Also going through into second is Williams. Glatzel up into third. Thompson up into fourth.
Oh, and they're side by side as they go through Druid for
Contact.
fifth, sixth place and first and second as well. That was
Yeah.
a late move. Looked like Ayres was clear going in, and all of a sudden I glanced back and he's side by side, second and third as well, side by side as they go through Graham Hill.
It seems like a few drivers struggling to get the car tight into Druids and leaving the door open slightly for the opposition to come through, but it's Jamie Ayres away. Very, very quick driver indeed. Is Ayres, and he's clear by a second nearly already ahead of Sven Glatzel. Josh Thompson in behind him. And it's Craig Williams, then Jack McIntyre. Johnny Brandon having a look. You can see in the middle of the screen there. We're just having a look on car 26, which is Jack McIntyre. Dropping down the order is Jamie Mayers from the top portion of the field. And look at them all having to scatter. Oh, dear me.
Yeah, big damage on the back of that car as well. So that is him done for the race. Very unfortunate after getting such that fortunate grid slot.
It looks like one of those British stock cars, doesn't he, Lee? The way the wing is pointed, but he'll get decent grip going around the right-handers, but not much else, I think. Yeah,
and big battling going on all the way through the field as they're working their way back onto the front straight. Start lap number 2. At the front, top 3 are just got a very slight gap. And again, if I feel like Ayres is clear going into Druids, and then midway around the corner, he's all of a sudden got a car alongside him. So very different approach into the corner there.
Yeah, it seems there are a few different lines you can take around here, though. Of course, it's not sort of a fixed path. Glatzel has really got a head of steam on this lap, though. Down Pilgrim's Drop. Ayres leaves the door open. 2 wheels on the grass. Glatzel goes through the fastest part of the course. Very brave driving by the German, and he is through into the lead. And through goes Thompson as well. Yeah.
Good choice of surname.
Indeed. And the inside for Williams as well. So Ayres really suffering on this lap. And continuing to suffer, Lee, because he's out of position. He's out of line.
Yeah, unfortunate. So now he's going to struggle as he's got more and more cars coming by. Is he going to be able to get back onto the racing line anytime soon? But yeah, from first position to fourth in 3 corners, not a great lap.
Yeah, not at all.
It's tricky though. As you saw, you feel the pressure and you make another mistake and run wide. It's very, very easy to do that, especially through machine curve, and that's where obviously he does that remainder of the time.
Yeah, not only are these cars pretty light, they're also pretty thin, and that's where the overtaking can be maybe a little bit easier than in some vehicles on the service. James McRitchie's had a problem, I think. Not that one, that one. Let's have a look. Is it in? Oh dear.
Rear wheels locked up slightly going in. Very, very late on the brakes. Saw I'm actually closed on the car in front. Did well to gather it back up. Easily could have ended up in the outside wall.
Didn't actually lose a position, McRitchie. He's still in 19th place, but he's got a bit of a tall order ahead of him because he's now 2 seconds behind Michael Blake. Although, I guess he's not going to really lose out a great deal, Lee, because at this point everybody's scrapping away. So clear track in front of him. It could be quite easy for him to catch up.
Yeah, like I say, it does seem to be a fair amount of squabbling going on so far. Of the guys we saw at the front last time out, Ash Sutton up into 10th place, Christian Rose into 12th, and Halliburton is doing the best out of those in 7th position, nearly missed him then. So yeah, Halliburton doing well, moving his way up through the top 10.
Yeah, he's doing a great job. He's second in race 1. Cash is the fastest man, well, not quite the fastest man, almost the fastest man out there. Ash Sutton just a little bit quicker, as with the front two. Glatzel leading from Thompson, but as you can see, there isn't much gap there at all. And, well, this could be quite feisty because two of them... Oh, there's been a big crash, I think. And I think Ash Sutton's involved. Chris Cash as well. Let's just see how that was. Here we go. It'll be into Surtees. Oh, well, there's one just before Surtees.
Yeah, side by side through Graham Hill Bend. Just looked. So
and that's
the outside of it, but
that's Jimmy Rushworth losing it, Lee. Sorry about that. So we've got. Let's have a look again at this.
Here we go. So yeah, Ash Sutton trying to get the cut back, looking to the outside, then switching, I think, to the inside at the last minute. And
Cash, I don't think he knew he was there.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I think he did. He tried to squeeze him on the entry. He didn't go as wide on entry, did Cask, and it looked like maybe it was just space for two cars on the apex. But yeah, just trying to put pressure on each other. It didn't quite work out.
Yes.
Sutton lost out more, I think.
Yeah, Sutton, I think, pretty blameless on that one that time. Thompson still has taken the lead.
He's taken the lead, yeah.
So let's see then how he did it. There it is. Thompson then, the man from the Isle of Man, over the start-finish line. Is it going to be a textbook one into Paddock Hill Bend? Glatzel, oh dear. Thought about covering the line, didn't quite. Great move by Thompson. Yeah, clean and through. It'll be interesting to see now, Lee, if Glatzel can stay with him, really.
Yeah, side by side, Andrew, as they head into to the GP circuit, and just about on the inside is Thompson hanging on over Glatzel, but Glatzel looking to come back on the inside of the next corner, but ends up tucking back in again. So yeah, very, very tight from these two guys, fighting hard.
Yeah, here comes Glatzel then, having a look into the final corner.
Oh, I think we're looking at a slightly different sync in time. I'm not on the final corner, Andrew, I'm afraid.
No. I think you're behind a little bit on that one. It's going into Druids now. He's Josh Thompson, pursued by Sven Glatzel, and then behind them, you can see this, Craig Williams, under pressure from Jamie Ayres. Oh, and that's put everybody out of joint, and car 10's around Johnny Brandon. Johnny Brandon spinning. And he's got going again. And let's see the replay on this one. They all checked up going into Graham Hill Bendley, and that just meant that he just got tagged from behind.
Yeah, tricky, man. On the exit of Graham Hill there. Very, very unlucky, but it's so tight out there. We're seeing these two groups of two now, Brandon and Haynes in focus, and damage on the back of Brandon as well, I think. So he's going to be struggling through this back section, I'd imagine.
Speed of this Radical really is just
awesome.
Very, very quick going through on our screens. Fantastic,
yeah,
really.
Super tight for this ninth position that these guys are battling for, side by side as they go through Clark Curve, as they over the start-finish line. They're going to be 3 wide.
Oh my goodness!
In the middle there as they head up to Paddock Hill.
In the middle is Johnny Brandon, and now somebody else getting interested behind as well. Sam Fitzpatrick's in there, and I think that's Haynes, Rich Haynes, for Northern Lights Racing in Electoral Place. It is.
Still side by side as they go through Graham
spinning
Hill
car, spun car. That's Williams. Craig Williams. Let's have a look here. Does he try and squeeze through on the inside of Graham Hill Bend on car 26? And that, I do believe, that's a carbon copy.
Yeah. Again, it felt pretty similar. It felt like they were both, racing hard, but the space was there. There was space for 2 cars, but it's such a tricky corner to get 2 cars on that apex.
Craig Williams down to 21st then as a result. Ash Sutton is 20th now. Dominic
Halliburton up into
Farber has
third
made a...
place from that reverse grid.
Yeah, indeed. Fantastic job from Kane here. He's just ahead of Jamie Ayres. Pole position, man. Still hanging on here. Halliburton up 10 positions from where he started, as you can see. Now, what's happened to Paul Denton? And there we go. He's tried for a move. Oh, he tried for a move on the Simauto car, I think. That was 41 is... Oh, no, that is... Wait a minute. No, that was car 3 having a go, wasn't it? On him. That was Rushworth, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, it looked ambitious. Yeah, it's a quick entry into there, and it was a late move he made to look up the inside. It wasn't like he was already side by side as they came up, so you really needed a lot of cooperation from Denton there, and understandably, it didn't quite work out that way.
Yeah, kind of tried to frighten him off the road, I think, a little bit, and it didn't quite work. Just behind this group, actually, is a good battle between CQR teammates Stuart McFadden and Christian Rose. And you can see their battle on the screen. McFadden has closed it in over the laps, but yeah, it's been there for quite some time. Can't seem to get through Christian Rose, sorry. Just in front of them, in fact, is it's again closed right up between Ayres and now McIntyre, actually. So Ayres struggling a bit in this race, Lee, and
damage on the back.
Yeah, can't be helping. I mean, what does it do, that little superficial damage? What sort of effect does it have on the car?
Well, it could depend a little bit just on what iRacing decides almost. It could just be that it's a little bit down on top speed, or it could be that you're down on rear aero as they side by side as they head up to Hawthorns and just end up backing out of it. Yep.
Nice easy one for McIntyre. They're right in the clutches now of CQR boys, McFadden and Rose. Sutton with the fastest fifth sector on our timing screen of the race. Halliburton's on the move as well. He's just done a 1:18.67. Second fastest man out on the track here.
Yeah, and half a second quicker than the leaders as well. So he's going to continue to close up at this pace.
Another personal best lap as well, Lee. And he's going great guns.
Contact up ahead of Druids. Cars in front.
It's Glatzel and Thompson side by side then. Getting for the lead. Thompson once more resisting the attack. Can he stay ahead? Or Sven Glatzel try and recoup what he believes should be his? Oh, Thompson's gone! And he's into the wall. Josh Thompson.
Big damage on the back of that car and the front.
Now he's having to wait. Look,
that outside curb is so nasty on 30s. If you're on that rear curb, on that outside curb, sorry, you've got to be absolutely expecting it, or you're going to struggle. Just Charles Thompson there, obviously defending as hard as he possibly could against Glatzel. Didn't quite work out, unfortunately.
Yep. Going to see it here. Just got a bit twitchy on the way in. Oh, and just in the
just up on that curb.
That's a tough one, that, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it looked like he hit his apex. He just tried to drive out that corner as early as possible, and just ended up 6 inches further right than probably the previous lap.
Yeah, and carried a bit, a little bit more speed, having maybe unsettled the tyres a little bit with the little twitch. So yeah, he's a bit unlucky, wasn't it? But it was also oh, look at this. Look at this into paddock. Brandon and that's Cash, isn't it? In the Pure Motorsport car. It's up the inside. Also getting in on the action is Rich Haynes. Yeah, Rich Haynes in... sorry, no, that's the wrong... I'm calling the wrong cars. It was Brandon and McFarlane, and then it was Cash, and then it's Haynes behind. Do apologise. First race of a new series. new drivers and teams. Cash having a look then to the outside into Hawthorne Bend. Be brave trying to go around here, Lee, but he's managing it. And yeah, he's restricted him to the tighter line, and that's worked well. And
maybe the car behind's going to follow through, do the same as well. Couldn't quite see out a shot.
Oh, yeah.
He certainly made a go, but no, not quite. Trying to cut back on the inside now to Dingledale.
You can't really overtake into Dingledale. Oh, my goodness, what a save that was by Rich Haynes. That was squeaky bum time indeed for him. Let's just have a look at this. So he has a look into Dingledale. We slow it down. He comes out of here. See how bumpy it is in here. Over the curb. Back end's going to go any second.
Yeah, it's already there.
Oh! I tell you what.
Very well held, sir. Congratulations.
That is a tremendous save. Oh, it looks like he's got the car really on edge, though, doesn't it? Because he's fighting it all around the track.
Well, I mean, that's these cars in general. Yeah, I mean, like, these cars are always drifting. You're always sliding out the corner. You're always backing it in, and they're very, very much on the nose. Halliburton within a second of a leader now. Glatzel.
He's really done a good job of coming back to Sven Glatzel. The past so many laps, of course.
And these two really have broken away from everyone else. 6 seconds ahead of third place McIntyre, with Rose just less than half a second behind still. It's quite a battle for third now. 3-car battle for that third spot.
Look at that illustration of how that gap's come down, though, mate. That's 7 laps, 8 laps.
Consistency. It's just hammering away, chipping away every single lap, and we've still got time. Time is still ticking away. You'd put your money on him being able to get in a position to make a move. And how aggressively is Glatzel going to try and defend? You can do it on this track. You can hold him out, but you've got to be prepared to put up that fight.
And as as a leading driver, as the man who's leading the way, that's not what you want to see, is it? That gap just coming down relentlessly. You're trying your best, and there's absolutely nothing you can do because the other guy's just got the car just a bit more dialed in, maybe got a little bit more confidence, and yeah, that's the result.
Michael Blake falling down the order there. He's had an incident somewhere.
Oh, that's a spin at Surtees.
Graham Hill.
Oh, sorry, Graham Hill. Yep.
Yeah, that's been a common spot, hasn't it? We've seen so many incidents on the exit there. So is it going to be contact, or does he just lose a rear on his own? He's going to lose it on his own.
Oh, hello. So, there's one going off as well. Who was that?
So yeah,
McCain, I think, was it?
Couldn't quite see from the angle whether there was actually contact or whether it was him diving out the way because of how slow you oversee apex speed. But exits of Graham Hill is where all the action's been.
I think it was Alan McCain, but I'm not certain on that one. Let's go back to the front where it's 3/10 now. Yeah, it was half a second as they crossed the line. Really, really good battle though this, and it's coming to a head. I think Jack McIntyre's in trouble. Let's have a look at what happened here. Oh, he just loses the rear into Druids. Not a lot he can do there. McIntyre. Yeah, back to the front. Where's it going to be then, do you think, for Halliburton, Lee? Where's he going to make this move? Where's his best chance?
Well, it's Druids is the one heavy braking zone on the circuit, so that would be your traditional spot. But honestly, who knows? I mean, again, there's so many opportunities in this Radical just to keep that momentum. All it's going to take is a little bit of a struggle from Glatzel on the corner, and Halliburton can be right there. So it's just about keeping that pressure on, and then we'll see where he goes from there.
As you can see from the timing tower, these two have kind of made this race their own. 7 seconds clear of anybody else. That's the CQR pairing of Rose and McFadden. And then it's another few seconds back to where Jamie Ayres is, and then Adam McNally, and then McIntyre. Lap traffic getting out of the way. Just a word for our colleague Sam Kumo. It didn't seem to last long for him again this time. Sadly down in down in the pits, it looks like. It looks like that Robert Inch might be the last of the current runners still going. There he is, in fact.
Yeah, Halibut close to 2/10 of Glatzel then for a moment, so he's really there pushing hard.
Mark Chorley's had a moment somewhere. Oh, he's so close. Oh, he's gone! Halliburton around. Just as we said it. Just as we said he was closing in on the possible victory. Oh, he throws it away. Let's see what happened to him. Let's have a look through Sterling's Bend. The camber does help you. Oh, and it just a twitch, and on this occasion Kane was not able to keep the car pointing in a straight line.
Super lucky not to get damage from contact as well, either against the wall or from the car following there. So lucky that he's going to be able to hang on to a strong top 5 spot. But all that work to close the gap in, and again, this car is tricky on the exits. Again, that is and Sterling's Bend as well. Is tricky on that exit.
Yeah.
So that tank slapper, it's easy done.
It's a corner that sort of lulls you in, and it makes you think that you're going to have an easy time of it, but then it gets a lot tighter on the exit, and that curb slightly raised in a bit of an awkward way, and it's simply not what you want, especially with 2 laps to go. But Sven Glatzel, well, he's only got 2 corners to go, Lee, and it's been a great drive from him. He resisted that pressure, and he's the one who's going to come out on top.
Yeah, absolutely. So Halliburton had that one opportunity maybe, and never quite had to defend a real move, but just a pure time pressure, crazy. So yeah, Glatzel taking a win. Great first 2 races from him, strong first race, and then a win in the second. Christian Rose then coming across in second, 7 seconds down. McFadden in third, and Halliburton's recovered to 4th place.
Yeah, and it was still a good recovery by Halliburton to make sure he kept the car eventually pointing the right way around, and only lost about 8 seconds. So could have been a lot worse. Look what happened to Josh Thompson. I mean, he ended up in the wall, and did he finish the race? No, he didn't. So yeah, that was could have been a lot worse for Ken Halliburton than 4th place. Reverse grid's not really going to help him out from there, but he's still got a good opportunity to move forward. Just having a look at the back of the cars who are yet to finish, and that's Craig Jones and Dan Webster. Close battle at the end. Dan Webster was a lot higher up the order, I think, but I think he had a spin or a contact or something quite early on. But yeah, only 25 on the lead lap again, Lee, and then 26th, 27th were 1 lap down. So if we have a full, it will be Robert Inch that gets put on pole position. But if it's I mean, the 20s, it's not too bad for those front runners, is it really?
No, absolutely. Like I say, could be a hell of a lot worse for the size of the grid that we're looking at, but nonetheless, it's a lot to try and work through. So Glatzel taking a win in the end from a comfortable 7 seconds, but we know watching the race it certainly wasn't comfortable for him for the second half at all. Christian Rose then in second, Stuart McFadden in third, Kane Halliburton, lucky really to get that 4th position in the end there. Jamie Ayres in 5th with Jack McIntyre recovering as well after a spin in 6th position. Chris Kask in 7th with Johnny Brandon in 8th. Craig Williams in 9th. Sam Fitzpatrick in 10th with James McRitchie in 11th. Adam McNally in 12th. Rich Haynes in 13th. Robert Plumley 14th. Luke Cooper in 15th. Mark Chorley in 16th. Jamie Rushworth, again another car trying to recover from an incident early on, in 17th. And Trevor Clement in 18th. And as the page turns, Paul Denson in 19th position, Kip Stevens in 20th, Jamie Mayers in 21st, Ross McFarlane, last car on a lead lap in 22nd, Tyler Vickery then, Craig Jones, Dan Webster, and Trevor Blackburn with Robert Inch of the last cars on like 1 lap down. Everybody else then were suffering for more damage, I suspect. As you say, a fair amount of cars that got caught up in incidents again on that race.
Yeah, race of attrition, I think, once more. And yeah, you can see all the retirements there going well down into the 50s again. We will have another reverse grid. We'll see how that will go in just a second. Do have the wheel here. Let's take it away. Wheel of Fortune for the second time. So it's going to be 17. And going on to pole position then will be... So again, it's shuffled my order. Jamie Rushworth. So a former BSRTC champion will be on pole for race 3 in this winter series. And we'll see you for that race when we come back after the break here on Apex Racing TV.
Of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, will it be Tim Hogan? It's going to be Christopher DeMerrick at the line. finish here of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Will it be Tim Hogan? It's going to be Christopher DeMeritt at the line. finish here of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Will it be Tim Hogan? It's going to be Christopher DeMerrick at the line. finish here of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Will it be Tim Hogan? It's going to be Christopher DeMerrick at the line.
Welcome back to Apex Racing TV. Welcome back to the BSR Radical Thursday. Andrew Woodhouse and Lee Thompson here with you to bring you all the action from race 3 of the evening. And Lee, we've seen some good stuff out there today. I've been really pleased with what we've had to digest. And speaking of tasty morsels, the third round decided by the reverse grid is on our way.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to the final race for the night. Again, Jamie Rushworth on pole. It's going to be interesting if he gets a clean first lap. You would imagine Jamie has got a very, very good chance of race. You look at the guys who are directly behind him. You think maybe he's going to have the outright pace. So right. Jamie Rushworth pole, Mark Chorley second, Luke Cooper third, Plumley fourth, Rich Haynes in fifth. Yeah, the revs starting to build perhaps.
Here we go then. Just about ready for the start here. BSR Radical Series round 3. The red lights are on. And the green light is on. Terrible start by Rushworth. Brilliant start by Mark Chorley. He's already up into the lead. It's going around the outside of the former BSR champion. Going to be very close into Druids Bend. He just covered the inside line. Big crash on the outside. There's people going off. Everything's going crazy because there's a lot of cars crashed. Oh dear.
Yeah, lots of cars falling back down the pack there as they're still trying to get themselves through Druids. Lots of damaged cars there that we're seeing in the background. But at the front, it looked pretty clean, single file. But yeah, Chorley got the jump on Rushworth, as you said, off the line. Held it nicely around the outside of Paddock Hill. And Jamie couldn't quite come back at him through Druids. So yeah, Chorley, then Rushworth, and Plumley, then Haynes, and Fitzpatrick. Where did he come from? He made up 3 spots. I think Craig Williams, Christopher Kask, and in 7th, Halliburton already up in 8th, McFadden 9th, and Glatzel, race winner from last race, in I was about to say 10th, now it says 11th.
Yeah, apologies for the timing issues and the visual issues that you've just seen. There's a few drivers who are showing us in front of these guys, but that's just what happens when the drivers go to the pits on lap 1. And yeah, there are a lot of cars out there, over 50 cars, so my system's just having a few issues with it, but that's sorted itself out now. Yeah, no, here it comes.
Gets the move done. Can Chorley hang around the outside? Rushworth, though, losing it. Corrects it, doesn't quite get a tank slapper going on. Had that move wrapped up and then lost the rear in the middle of the corner. Under pressure now from Haynes as well, but Haynes goes too deep and wide into Druid. So yeah, Chorley, then Rushworth, then Haynes still.
Keeps third, but that's all he does keep, does Rich Haynes.
Side by side for fourth as well. I think Fitzpatrick made the position, or trying to, fourth and fifth, swapping positions. Yeah, Fitzpatrick doesn't quite get the job done. Now it says it does. It's still side by side.
A lot going on is the main theme of this opening lap.
That's it. There we go. There's a shot of him, and going to lose an extra spot there as well.
Fitzpatrick and Plumley, I think that is, isn't it? Is it fourth place? Fourth place is Rob Plumley.
So Fitzpatrick there went from challenging fourth position down to seventh now. So that did not work out from at all for that 2 sequences of corners.
That's what seems to happen in this Radical quite a lot. Oh, off goes Josh Thompson, I think. Oh, crash! And it's Stuart McFadden. Let's have a look and see what happened to him. It's with another CQR car here, Lee. Oh, he sits up the rear by Gash Sutton. Stuart McFadden in the pit lane. Sorry, mate.
Yeah, so unfortunate for both from there. Still Chorley, though, in the lead from Rushworth, from Haynes, from Plumley. So that little scrap for that fourth position has just calmed down slightly now. They've broken apart into 2 different groups, fourth and fifth, and then sixth back. But yeah, we've got a fair few trains of cars as we're watching them streak up through Hawthorne Hill.
Rushworth got a good run through Hawthorne into Westfield. He can't really overtake in this part of the track, but can set them up for the last couple of corners. And Rich Haynes is all over Rushworth here at the minute. And look behind them as well, Cash and Plumley. It's all happening, isn't it? It's very, very close all the way through the field. Mark Chorley leads the way, and it was really his start that propelled him into this position, Lee, because Rushworth just did not get away well.
Yeah, absolutely. It looked like Rushworth got a really poor initial start, but perhaps it was more the camera angle, because then actually he wasn't that far behind as he tries to go around the outside of Druids, maybe looking for a cutback ready for Graham Hill, but doesn't quite hit the apex at the end there, so couldn't get the drive out the corner. But yeah, like I say, Rushworth pushing hard, trying to recover that spot he lost at the start there. Very
short run, wasn't it, as well? Coming out of Druids to Graham Hill, it's not one where the cutback's going to work a great deal of times. See the gains on the screen, and there's some crazy ones out there. David White's gained 30 spots. Nicole Foggy, Steve Heffer, 28 places gained. Scott Malcolm, David Ayres, 25 positions gained. Sam Kumo, 25 as well. Richard Kafenku, 20. Josh Thompson, 19.
And again, of the guys we've been seeing running up the front, Halliburton seems to be the one that can make his way through the field the best. He's the lead car of a reversed grid, if you like. So he's already up into 7th position.
Yeah, nice. Halliburton with some great pace. You kind of think he's got a win coming to him at some point today, Lee, but this is his last chance. He needs to make it count. Yeah,
been super, super quick. But then equally, if he can get top 3, top 5 point position this last race, then that would be a great haul of points for the night. Even if he doesn't quite get that win, you wouldn't think anyone else will have challenged his points haul for the night.
Oh yeah, he might sort of think a little bit of what might have been, but still got to think that he's definitely going to be coming out. I'm almost certain he's going to be coming out of the championship lead after this. Carl Jacolette's had some issues. It looks like Scott Malcolm's dropping down the order. Not sure what's happened to Scott. But it ain't good, that's for sure. I think this might be it. No, it's not it. What's happening? Certainly isn't it. Oh dear. What on earth has happened there?
Yeah, looked a bit clumsy all round on that one, unfortunately. But,
Oh, so wait, there was a crash. There was a crash prior to that. Then let's see. Oh, he spins. Oh, there was another spinner. Oh God, it's just a bit of pinball going on. And then of course, whoever comes round the corner here, the spin turns going on. There's 2 or 3 cars trying to rejoin. And then the... Oh dear. Yeah. That's an interesting one. Oh dear, never mind. I feel a bit sorry for all the drivers involved really, because there's nothing a lot of them could do about that. Chorley versus Rushworth again. Rushworth's getting very close through Paddock and through Druids, and then really the rest of the lap he's not being quite as threatening as he seems to be at the beginning. And Haynes is threatening Cash now, right underneath his rear wing. Great battles going on in this field. Rich Haynes got the slipstream. He's going to try this move, is he, that we saw earlier on? Oh, he's going to try a nice cutback. This looks good, Lee. He's up the inside.
Yeah, a little twitch on the outside as well, trying to defend.
Oh, contact, I think.
Yeah, so that's unfortunate there. Yeah, the car, cask on the outside was it. That was just trying to put a squeeze on him on the inside and couldn't scare him off. And yeah, that contact on the apex, unfortunate there. Chorley's still 3 tenths ahead of Rushworth, so still keeping fairly consistent there between those two. Otherwise, Bromley and Fitzpatrick looking pretty close to well, 2-3 tenths between them.
This might be a good chance for Jamie. Had a kill though. Oh! He hit the curb hard there. He lost a lot of momentum. Fast line for Chorley, even though it didn't look the most efficient. Looks like the drivers are having a lot of fun out there though. Looks like this is a good car to drive.
And Halliburton challenging for 3rd place, moved up into 3rd now.
He's through, so...
Yeah, 7th to 3rd.
Oops. So, see if we can get the overtake on the screen. Oh, so there were a couple of passes actually, I think here originally. So I think this might go on for some time because I think there's a move here. Halliburton going through into Paddock Hill Bend, and then I think he gets repassed. Yeah, he's going to be into Druids. This is great stuff. Up the inside. Goes wide. And does Rich Haynes swoop round the outside? Well, he tries to. Good battle though. Very good battle. Is he going to try and get it back? No, he doesn't. So, really nice stuff out there for 3rd place. And Halliburton now, it's got 4 seconds to this lead, but we're not at quite a half race distance yet, Lee. And the side-by-side for the lead.
Sure. Rushworth just having to tuck in at the end there at the last moment, but putting Chorley under so much pressure. Chorley doing well to soak this up so far. Rushworth looking like he's decided now is the time that he actually wants to get by and trying to force a move as they have a little sniff into Surtees, sorry, as well.
We've seen a few people, haven't we, sort of run into the back of people in the middle of the corner. Oh, and he pokes the nose out, does Rushworth. Is it because it's a fairly long-nosed car, is the Radical? Do you think that's got anything to do with why we're seeing these little small contacts?
Maybe. I think on the slower corners, as you were saying with Druids, you get those different options of lines, so you get different apex speeds maybe. So again, Surtees is one of the slower corners on the circuit, so again, it's easier to do that. And again, these cars are just so quick. If you just brake a tiny bit early or a tiny bit late, and quite quickly get a big difference in speed between the two cars.
Closing speed's pretty massive. Looks like there's been a problem for Jack McIntyre here. Already with damage. Oh, yeah. Just going round on him. McIntyre currently in 16th place, though, so I didn't really lose out too much on that one. He's pitting. Might be a meatball with the end of his race. Chorley, though, it's just the beginning of his defence against Jamie Rushworth, and 10 minutes to go nearly. Well, 9 minutes. It's going to be tough for him to hold on for all that time, but he's done a great job so far, Lee. So I think, you know, he'll be very pleased so far with how he's doing.
Absolutely. I think Halliburton will be also hoping that Chorley keeps that position for now, because he's managing to pull maybe half a second or so a lap. So if he's got 10 minutes left, 3.5 second gap to the cars in front, then he's going to be hoping he continue to close through the second half of the race.
You can just see Halliburton in the background as well. Ash Sutton's been off, I think, as well. He's down to 11th place. Just dropped behind Rob Plumley. Nico Foggy's up to 14th, having started in 45th place. Make that 13th. Up the inside goes Chorley again, though.
Goes very, very defensive under Druids very, very early. Made it clear that Jamie couldn't come up the inside there. And again, Jamie is not able to drive around the outside. And again, just having to slot back in those couple of tenths behind again.
Bit wide goes Chorley. Rushworth is really pressuring. Now he's got the slipstream. He's right under the rear wing. Good. Down Pilgrim's drop. To the outside into Hawthorne Bend once more. Can he brave it? Wheel to wheel they go. Oh, giving each other enough room. It's good racing. Is Chorley going to throw it back up the inside into Westfield Bend? He does. Still side by side. This is great stuff. Yeah,
and Jamie not quite getting a drive out of that corner. Had to back out of it just a little bit too much. But yeah, cracking job from these guys side by side through the two quickest corners on the circuit.
You know, it looked like Chorley took a lot of the inside grass as he went through Dingle Dell. I think he might have been quite lucky not to get away with a slowdown penalty, but I think he's all right. Rushworth again with a great run. Looks like he's got a bit more straight line speed as well to go with the slipstream. Here we go then. And deciding not to have a go into Paddock Hill. I think his escapades in the previous race sort of have made him shy away from that. And again we go into Druids, and again it's nose to tail. Rich Haynes dropping down the order. What's happened to him? Just a quick one then into Paddock Hill. Does he lose the rear? Oh, yeah, he does.
Yeah, that rear started to go very, very early, and especially with the track dropping away from you there, once it starts to go, you're going to really struggle. Glatzel dropping back down the field as well, so he's got a problem. Just
look at Halliburton. How he's closed in on this one. Sven Glatzel down to 13th place. Looks like he's stabilised there. Yeah, Kane Halliburton, a couple of tenths you'll be able to see in a second. He's taken a large chunk out of these guys. Oh, they've gone, and they've all gone. Halliburton's gone as well. What on earth happened there?
Yeah, definitely looking forward to seeing the replay on that. Oh dear me, all three cars getting tied up as they went into Sterling's Bend there. Craig Williams looks like he's the car that's managed to leapfrog them all for now. And we'll see how much damage Halliburton has got and whether he can keep them.
So let's see. So he goes on the grass. Oh, little nudge in the middle. Oh. And Halliburton.
Halliburton did, I reckon, it was just out of camera shot, but I think Halliburton did make contact with the wall as well. So he might have a little bit. Yeah, he did. For sure, not as much as the front two guys. So
he hit the wall fairly hard.
Yeah, Chorley was pushing hard. You know, we could see him run out into the grass, and all that pressure Jamie had been putting on him. They just, just couldn't quite keep it together through the apex, unfortunately.
And that leaves Craig Williams in the lead, and he started in 9th place. With his set-up shop on the car. Well, he set up shop at the front of the field. And it's not closing time just yet. Halliburton. Oh, how much damage does he have? What's it going to be? Oh, there's a car spun. That's 55. That's Alan McCain for the Sim Auto team. Yeah, through the last corner on lap 12. Just under 4 minutes to go. Williams can do this, you know. Let's have a look at the best laps between the two of them here. It's half a
I think
second
he's
in it on the
looking pretty
best
comfortable.
laps. Sorry, mate.
Yeah, they're looking. I think he's looking pretty comfortable. Halliburton's lost a second since they've sorted themselves out. So yeah, Halliburton isn't really looking like he's going to be able to challenge back up with Williams. He just needs to keep it on the straight and narrow now.
Man on the move is Nicole Foggy. He's only 7 seconds off the lead, and he's lapping about 2 seconds quicker than the leaders. So Foggy's going great guns. He has the fastest lap of the race with a 1:18.39. He's closing in. Actually, everyone's closing in, especially after that crash. Rushworth's down to 4th. Chorley is down to now 8th. I think the saving grace for them, though, Lee, is that they didn't really... Oh, Chorley's got a problem. Oh, he's just been pushed out of line. I think he's been passed by Cash. And he's dropped down to 9th place. But yeah... none of them got major damage, which is really good, because obviously they're still all going in the top 10, so they will finish. And Halliburton's championship points that we mentioned were going to be very strong. Well, there's no danger of really that not coming to fruition. But Williams, on this previous lap by 1:19.4. Halliburton 1:18.7. So he did close in a bit.
Yeah,
Quite a lot, actually.
Something's gone wrong with our timing screen, because the gap looked like it went up by nearly a second. So something looking a bit strange there. But yeah, for sure, Williams, as you say, just needs to try to keep it together, and he should be looking strong as we come into the final sector of a race. Yep.
I think he's got a bit of lap traffic to negotiate, and as long as
Halliburton falling backwards now. Halliburton's had an issue. He's suddenly dropping down the order.
I wonder if that's a spin. Yeah, it is a spin.
Yeah,
look.
there we go.
And that could be...
Couldn't cope with the damage.
He did hit the right rear. Those cars were very lucky to... I tell you what, I think it was Sam Fitzpatrick that might have... and it was Rushworth, I think, that barely went through. I want to see that from Jamie Rushworth's viewpoint here. To see how he just sees a car there.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and he does well to correct that one. But yeah, Williams now has a comfortable lead, 5.7 seconds.
They're looking very, very tight between Josh Thompson and Jamie Rushworth. Just a tenth between them as they come from paddock. And
Thompson disappeared. Nicole Foggy's in there as well. Thompson disappears again.
Yeah, struggling.
Where's he going to appear? That's what's going to be difficult for Nicole Foggy and Jamie Rushworth, is they're not going to know where he is. So, I mean, where do you go? Nicole Foggy, by the way, look at that gain at the bottom of the screen. Up 42 lead. You have to go... There's not many racing series where you can see that.
No, that is about as many positions as he could mathematically have managed. So that is not bad going at all as he tries to go around the outside as they head into...
it's got to be Thompson's internet, hasn't it? That's caused havoc on that one.
Yeah, it didn't look good. So unfortunately, that is not going to result in a 42 position gain for Foggy on that one.
No, I don't think so. And now Thompson... Oh, here we go. Checkered flag is out. And Craig Williams is going to claim it. So from 9th on the grid, Craig Williams comes through and he wins here at Brands Hatch. Well done to him. That's great. Jamie Rushworth P2, despite the contact. Thompson in 3rd, just ahead of Fitzpatrick. That's a good drive by Sam Fitzpatrick, Lee, one of our colleagues, of course.
Yeah, it looks like he kept his nose very, very clean. We didn't see a huge amount of him maybe during the race, but just kept chipping away at those positions as others got into trouble.
Sam Kumo up in 13th place. That's a great performance, plus 28 for him. David White plus 35 places. In the end, he was the one who gained the most out of anybody. You see, it's funny, Nicole Foggy retired on the last lap. He still gained 21 places from where he started. It's not a bad day at the office regardless. He will get points for that, of course, being just the one lap down. Yeah, Craig Williams, celebratory donuts. Do like the pastries here on Apex Racing TV. Yeah, donuts well and truly in stock here. Oh, there's a few.
Yeah,
Excellent.
Not quite as synchronised as we saw in Abu Dhabi though.
No, it's not. We can see NLR car on the grass with those as well. Pretty good though, I've got to say. Pretty good.
I think we're going to see maybe lots of donuts through the seasons as these guys get to experience the novelty of a rear-wheel drive car on a Thursday night.
Yeah, they well, that's it. They can't normally do many donuts in the Kia Optima, right? Let's take us through the race results, please.
Yeah, so unexpected by 2/3 of the way through the race win for Craig Williams after the carnage up ahead of him, but kept his nose clean, finished up by winning by 5.8 seconds. Jamie Rushworth then recovering from that incident into a second place, so that could have turned out a fair chunk worse for him, to be fair. Josh Thompson then in third, Sam Fitzpatrick in fourth, Chris Kask in fifth with Robert Plumley in sixth, Mark Chorley in seventh, Kane Halliburton in eighth, Jamie Mayers in ninth, and Rich Haynes in 10th. Sven Glatzel recovered from an issue about halfway through the race to finish 11th. Dan Webster then in 12th, Sam Kumo in 13th, David White in 14th, Richard Gafenku in 15th, Steve Hefford 16th, Paul Denton 17th, and Carl Hardy in 18th position. 19th place was Kip Stevens, Tyler Vickery in 20th, Nicole Foggy, as we said, finishing in that 21st position, Robert Inch in 22nd, Dan Brown 23rd, 1 lap down, Alan McCain also 1 lap down. Everybody else retired 7 laps or more ago. So again, what did we have? 24 runners finishing a lap or less down.
Yeah, big, long 2 pages of retirements there. And but it was about the man you see at the top of the standings, Craig Williams. That was a terrific race from him. And there are a couple of people waiting in the interview room, and I will grab Craig Williams, and we can speak to him right now. Craig, welcome to the commentary box. It's nice to have you up here. I think it's one of the first times we've had you here, but what better circumstances could there be?
Yeah, this is the first time. I just had to ask for the channel so I could get in because it's the first time. But oh man, I am pretty sweaty right now. There is some sweat coming off me right now.
Well done, though. I mean, 9th place on the grid. I mean, you must have been having kittens when they all ran into each other.
Yeah, I was taken. Where was I? 5th, 4th. I think I was 4th place, and I'm like, okay, I'll drive from here. I'm not catching the guys in front. And then I come round one of the corners, and everyone was off, and I deafened everyone else who I was talking to at the time. I'm like, come on! And then I knew one of the cars had damage. Was it Kane?
Yeah.
Come back on, and he had damage, and I'm like, oh, he's much faster than me. He's going to have me. But luckily, he had enough damage for me to not drive away as such, but to be comfortable, I guess.
And then he had another spin later on, which kind of meant that took that pressure off. But take us through the start. Then 9th place it was, and you know, how did you approach the start on this track? Because it is a difficult grid. It is, you know, not the easiest one.
Luckily, I don't know, because I've struggled in some other cars to get them off the line, but in this one I've clicked much easier or much better with it. Yeah. So I've had 3 really good starts today, and I've tried 3 different things because I wasn't sure what the best. So first one, dragging the clutch and the car shot off. Second one, tried to control the wheel spin, the car shot off. Third one, just belted it, dropped the clutch, and it just shot off. Having the insides probably a little bit easier if you're starting near the front. Starting near the back, probably starting on the outside and trying to avoid it was easier. But I think I overtook maybe 2 people, and everyone else fell off in front of me. So I got pretty lucky, I think.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to have a bit of luck in these races, especially at the start of a new season where it's all frantic and not, you know, only probably half the drivers really know the car well and things like that. You've got to have your wits about you, really. Yeah,
definitely. This car, I didn't have a lot of time to practice, but I've made the much of it as I could to get used to the car and its strange quirks. But yeah, all I wanted to do was not crash today. All 3 races, not have any incidents, not crash, and finish all 3.
That's the aim.
To get a win's so much better than I ever thought I would get.
Well, congratulations, mate, and good start to the championship, of course. And can you give the shout outs to friends, family, sponsors, team, whoever?
Sponsors, Pixel Dust, who normally does my paints on iRacing. Myself, Craig Setup Shop. I guess I could say that myself.
Yeah,
Simza,
we'll let you off.
Yeah, let me. Craig Setup Shop. Yeah. Simza. Peter's an awesome guy. He helps me out. And then Demon Tweaks, a UK-based company. Everyone knows who they are. They're pretty awesome and help me out with some of my sim stuff.
All right, awesome. Well done again, and yeah, hopefully we see you up here a few more times.
Yeah, hopefully, guys, keep up the good work, and I'll hopefully see you next week on the top step.
Cheers, mate. Take it easy.
See you later.
See ya. And now, Lee has found Sam Fitzpatrick.
Hello.
Good evening, Sam. Congratulations, particularly on that final race. How was your 3 races overall?
Chaotic. This was actually my first ever BSR event, so I thought it was Watkins as well today. I did no practice, so that's part of the reason why I qualified 40th, and then just got so lucky with instance. Part of it is crash avoidance, part of it is just luck, and I really got the luck on my side today. And it all kind of culminated in a decent starting place for that race, 8th, and then it was great racing against that quality of drivers, and once again got a bit fortunate, didn't get tagged in anything, and ended up 4th. So really pleased with that. I think I may have scored more points than any other driver today. I'm not sure about that, but that's what I'm aiming for. So yeah, really good.
Well, congratulations if that is the case. As you say, certainly a matter of just trying to keep your nose clean in this series at best. But how did you find the car and circuit combination? Obviously, a classic British track here. Quick sweeping corners, and the aerodynamics in these cars make it good fun, I presume.
Yeah, well, through some of the corners it's pretty good, but this setup isn't fantastic. And through the slow speed corners, you just got so much understeer. The high speed oversteer wasn't too evident today, but the front end is so stiff that you just understeer constantly around like druids and whatnot. So it was still good fun though with the racing. And it's just such a pain to keep in one direction. So I'm sure we'll get used to it. But today there were quite a few incidents I saw.
Yeah, as I say, it's half the grid we were seeing ending up in repairs during the races. So as you say, a lot of incidents for sure. As you've said, yeah, Watkins Glen next week. So obviously you already got a head start on that. That's going to be a pretty similar feeling track really, with a layout of corners. And how do you feel about running there next week?
Well, lap 1 up that hill, that's not going to be good because this car's bad on cold tires. So I honestly do not see how we're going to get through that. Really, in any of the races, it's going to be absolute carnage. But it's got a pretty good feel as Watkins Glen. It's the classic boot, isn't it? So it's not too bad with that. So it'll be good fun, I'm sure, and the racing's going to be mad. The slipstream effect as well on this car is insane. So yeah, expect to see some pretty good kind of fights for the lead up there, I think.
Excellent. We'll look forward to it, and we'll look forward to you having another strong race night next week then. Thank you, Sam.
Thanks, Luke.
Yeah, thanks to Sam for joining us once again. And it's about time to thank everybody for watching. So from all of us here at Apex Racing TV, from myself, Andrew Woodhouse, from Lee Thompson, it's goodbye from the BSRTC Radical Thursday.